use to buy things. Each one is a tiny time capsule, holding stories of kings, empires, and everyday people from long ago. When you hold an old coin, you are touching a piece of history. Imagine who else might have held that very same coin. Was it a merchant in a bustling market, a soldier far from home, or perhaps even a king paying for a grand palace? This connection to the past is what makes coin collecting, or numismatics, such a fascinating hobby for people all around the world. It is a way to travel through time without ever leaving your home. People collect coins for many different reasons. Some are drawn to the beautiful art and intricate designs engraved on their surfaces. Others are fascinated by the history they represent, learning about different cultures and civilizations through their currency. For some collectors, the thrill is in the hunt for rare and valuable pieces, a treasure hunt that can span a lifetime. Just like someone in America might search for a rare 1909 SVDB Lincoln penny, a collector of Indian coins might dream of finding a unique coin from the Gupta Empire. The joy of finding that one special coin to complete a collection is a feeling that all collectors share, no matter where they are from. The metals used to make coins also tell a story. Gold and silver coins often speak of wealth and power, used by the richest in society for large transactions. But the more common metals, like copper, nickel, and brass, tell the story of the common person. These were the coins used for daily life, to buy bread, vegetables, and other necessities. They passed through countless hands, witnessing the small moments that make up the grand tapestry of history. The journey of these everyday coins, especially those made from nickel and brass in India, is a particularly interesting one, full of surprising changes and hidden tales. In this exploration, we will embark on a fascinating journey through the history of India's nickel and brass coins. We will travel back to ancient times, long before these specific metals were used, to understand the origins of coinage on the subcontinent. We will see how designs and metals changed with the rise and fall of great empires, through the period of British rule, and into the modern era of an independent India. This story is not just for seasoned collectors. It is for anyone who has ever looked at a coin and wondered about the journey it has taken. It is a story of art, technology, and the enduring spirit of a nation captured in metal. The story of coins in India begins a very long time ago, around the 6th century BCE. Before this, people traded goods directly in a system called barter. You might trade a bag of rice for a clay pot, for example. But this could be complicated. Imagine trying to trade a cow for a small piece of jewelry. To make things easier, people started using pieces of metal as money. The very first Indian coins were not round like the coins we use today. They were oddly shaped pieces of silver, often rectangular or square. These are known as punch-marked coins, and they are some of the oldest coins in the world. These early coins were made in a simple but effective way. A bar of silver was flattened into a sheet, and then pieces were cut off to a specific weight. To show that they were official money, small symbols were stamped onto them using punches. This is why they are called punch-marked coins. These symbols were not pictures of kings, but usually images of animals, plants, or geometric shapes. Each kingdom or region, known as a Janapada, had its own set of symbols. This is similar to how American state quarters each have a unique design on the back, representing something special about that state. The value of these ancient coins was based on the weight of the silver they contained. A heavier coin was worth more than a lighter one. This is very different from our money today, where the value is printed on the coin and is not related to the metal's worth. A modern American quarter is worth 25 cents, but the metal it is made from is worth much less. For ancient Indians, the metal itself was the money. These silver coins, called karshapanas, were the workhorses of the ancient economy, used in bustling cities and trade routes that crisscrossed the subcontinent. While silver was common for higher values, copper coins were also used for smaller, everyday purchases. These were often cast in molds, rather than being punch-marked. Finding these ancient coins today is like discovering a hidden message from the past. They don't have dates or writing on them, so experts, or numismatists, have to study the symbols and the places where they are found to figure out where and when they were made. It's a challenging puzzle that reveals the complex and advanced society that existed in India over 2,500 years ago, long before nickel and brass would make their mark. As centuries passed, India saw the rise and fall of many powerful empires, and each one left its unique signature on the nation's coinage. The medieval period, stretching roughly from the 7th to the 18th century, was a time of incredible diversity in coin design and metallurgy. The coins from this era moved away from the simple punch-marked symbols of ancient times. Instead, they began to feature elaborate portraits of rulers, depictions of gods and goddesses, and beautiful calligraphy in various scripts like Sanskrit, Arabic, and Persian. This was a time when coins truly became a form of propaganda, a way for a king to announce his power and faith to his people. The metals used were also incredibly varied. The wealthy Gupta Empire, often called the Golden Age of India, produced some of the most beautiful gold coins ever made, known as dinars. These coins featured stunning portraits of kings and queens. However, for most people, transactions involved coins made of less precious metals. Silver, bilan, a mix of silver and a base metal like copper, and copper were the mainstays of the medieval economy. Brass, an alloy of copper and zinc, also began to see more use during this period, though it was not as widespread as it would later become. The Delhi Sultanate, which ruled over large parts of India from the 13th to the 16th century, was famous for its experiments with currency. One sultan, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, even tried to introduce a token currency using brass and copper coins that were meant to have the same value as silver and gold coins. This was a revolutionary idea for the 14th century, but it failed because the government could not prevent people from making fake coins in their own homes. This led to economic chaos, a fascinating story that shows the challenges of managing a monetary system. During the powerful Mughal Empire, which followed the Sultanate, the coinage system became highly standardized across their vast territory. They had a tri-metallic system with gold mohurs, silver rupees, and copper dams. The silver rupee, in particular, became the backbone of the economy, and its standard weight and purity would influence Indian currency for centuries to come, even forming the basis for the modern Indian rupee. While nickel had not yet been introduced, the extensive use of copper and the occasional use of brass for certain tokens or regional issues set the stage for the metal alloys that would dominate in the future. When the British East India Company, and later the British Crown, established control over India, they brought significant changes to the country's coinage. Their goal was to create a single uniform currency that could be used across the entire subcontinent, replacing the hundreds of different coin types issued by the Mughals and various princely states. This process began in the early 19th century. The British introduced machines to mint coins, which meant that for the first time, all coins looked exactly the same. This was a big change from the handcrafted coins of the past, which had slight variations. The new coins issued under the British Raj featured the portrait of the British monarch on one side, the obverse. Over the years, the portraits changed to show the reigning king or queen, from Queen Victoria to King George VI. The other side, the reverse, typically showed the value of the coin and the year it was made, surrounded by an elegant wreath. The designs were very formal and European in style, a clear symbol of British authority in India. This was very similar to how coins in Britain and other colonies looked, creating a sense of a vast, interconnected empire. The metals used were also standardized. The main coins were the silver rupee, along with its smaller fractions like the half rupee, quarter rupee, and 2 annas. For smaller transactions, copper coins were used. These included the half anna, quarter anna, and the tiny 1/12 anna. The quarter anna was a particularly common coin, about the size of a modern American quarter, and it was used by millions of people for their daily needs. The system was a bit complex. 12 pies made 1 anna, and 16 annas made 1 rupee. Imagine having to use 3 different units for your money. This period laid the groundwork for the introduction of new metals. As the 19th century progressed, the world was changing. New industrial processes made it possible to produce different metal alloys more cheaply. The price of silver also began to fluctuate wildly on the global market, which created problems for a currency system that depended on it. The British government started looking for a cheaper, more stable metal to use for its coins. This search for an alternative would soon lead to the introduction of a brand new metal into India's long and storied numismatic history, nickel. The big change came in the early 20th century. By 1907, the British government decided to introduce a new metal for some of its Indian coins, cupro-nickel. This is an alloy, or mixture, of copper and nickel. It was honestly a perfect choice for coinage. It was hard-wearing, so the coins would last a long time in circulation. It was silver-colored, which people liked because, well, it looked valuable. And most importantly, it was much cheaper than pure silver. The first coin to be made from this new metal was the 1 anna coin. It was a very distinctive coin, not just for its metal, but also for its shape. It was not round, but had a scalloped, wavy edge, making it easy to identify by touch. This new 1 anna coin was a huge success. People quickly got used to the new metal, and the government saved a lot of money. Because of this success, the British decided to use nickel for other coins as well. In 1919, after World War I, the price of silver shot up, making the silver 2 anna, 4 anna, and 8 anna, also known as the half rupee, coins worth more as melted metal than as money. To solve this, the government began making these coins out of cupro-nickel as well. The 4 anna and 8 anna coins were introduced in 1919, followed by a new cupro-nickel 2 anna coin in 1920. These new nickel coins kept the same basic design as the silver coins they replaced. They featured the portrait of the reigning monarch, King George V, on the front. On the back, they had the value written in English, as well as in other Indian languages like Persian script. However, unlike the round silver coins, these new nickel coins were given unique shapes to prevent confusion. The 8 anna coin was square with rounded corners, and the 4 anna coin was also scalloped like the 1 anna. This was a clever way to help people, especially those who could not read, to tell the coins apart just by feeling them in their pocket. The introduction of nickel marked a major turning point in Indian coinage. It represented a shift away from money that had intrinsic value, based on the precious metal it contained, towards token currency, where the value is guaranteed by the government. This is the system we use for all our coins today, both in India and in the United States. The shiny, durable nickel coins of the British Raj were a symbol of modernity and industrial progress, a new chapter in a story that had begun with simple pieces of punched silver thousands of years earlier. They were the direct ancestors of the coins that would circulate in a newly independent India. The story of the brass coin in modern India is deeply connected to a time of global crisis, World War II. During the war, which lasted from 1939 to 1945, metals like copper and nickel became extremely important for the war effort. They were needed to make shell casings, wiring, and other military equipment. This created a shortage of these metals for making coins. The British government in India had to find a new, cheaper material for its currency. The solution they found was nickel brass, an alloy made of copper, zinc, and a small amount of nickel. This alloy had a yellowish, golden color and was much less expensive to produce. Starting in 1942, several coins that were previously made of cupro-nickel or copper were switched to this new nickel-brass alloy. This included the 2 anna coin and the half anna coin. The most famous brass coin from this period, however, was a new 1 anna coin. Unlike the old scalloped 1 anna, this new coin was round, but had a hole in the middle. This was done to save even more metal. This old 1 anna coin is one of the most recognizable coins of the late British period. It featured the crown of King George VI on one side and the value on the other. Another interesting coin born out of wartime necessity was a new, tiny half-anna coin, also made of nickel brass. It was introduced in 1942 and was square with rounded corners. It was much smaller than the previous copper half-anna it replaced. At the same time, the smallest coin, the 1/12th anna, was also changed. Its hole was removed to make it a solid bronze piece, but it was made much smaller and thinner to save copper. These changes show how major world events can directly impact the coins in people's pockets. The need to support the war effort was so great that it changed the very size, shape, and metal of the money people used every day. The use of brass was a temporary solution driven by necessity, but it proved to be a very practical one. After the war ended, India was on the cusp of independence, and the new government would have to make its own decisions about what its coins should look like and what they should be made of. The experience with nickel brass during the war showed that it was a viable and cost-effective material for coinage. This humble, yellowish metal, introduced because of a global conflict, would go on to play a very important role in the currency of a free and independent India, continuing its journey far beyond the end of the British Empire. On August 15, 1947, India became an independent nation. This was a moment of immense pride and change, and this new identity needed to be reflected in the country's currency. For the first few years, from 1947 to 1950, India continued to use the old British-era coins. However, the portrait of the British king was replaced with a new symbol, the Ashoka lion capital. This powerful image of 4 lions standing back to back was taken from an ancient pillar erected by the Emperor Ashoka, and it became the official emblem of the new Republic of India. Seeing this symbol on coins, instead of a foreign king, was a powerful statement of freedom. In 1950, India introduced its first full series of post-independence coins. The designs were completely new. The Ashoka lion capital was on the obverse, or front, of every coin. The reverse, or back, of the coins featured new designs, like a bull on the half rupee or a galloping horse on the quarter rupee. The old anna system was kept for a few more years. During this time, nickel and brass continued to be important metals. The 1 rupee, half rupee, and quarter rupee coins were made of pure nickel, which gave them a bright silvery shine and made them very durable. The smaller coins, like the 2 anna, 1 anna, and half anna, were made of cupro nickel. A major change happened in 1957 when India shifted to the decimal system. This was a huge step towards modernizing the currency. The old system of 16 annas to a rupee was replaced by a much simpler system of 100 naya pies, or new pies, to 1 rupee. This is the same system India uses today and is similar to the American system of 100 cents to a dollar. New coins were introduced with values like 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, and 50 naya pies. Nickel brass, the alloy first used during World War II, was chosen for the 2 naya pies coin. Cupro nickel was used for the 5 and 10 naya pies coins. Over the following decades, the metals and designs continued to evolve based on metal costs and the needs of the economy. As the cost of nickel and copper increased, the government switched to less expensive metals like aluminum and ferritic stainless steel for many of its smaller coins. However, nickel brass made a prominent return in 1982 with the introduction of a new, larger 2 rupee coin, which was heptagonal, or 7-sided. Later, in the 1990s, a 5 rupee coin was also made from cupro nickel. These coins, with their familiar metals, bridged the gap between the past and the present, carrying the legacy of nickel and brass into the hands of a new generation of Indians. Every coin collection has its stars, the rare and unusual pieces that collectors dream of finding. In the long history of Indian coinage, there are some truly remarkable examples, especially when it comes to the smallest coins ever made. During the medieval period, some kingdoms in southern India produced tiny gold coins called fanams. These coins were incredibly small, often weighing less than half a gram and measuring just a few millimeters across. They were like tiny, glittering seeds of gold. It is amazing to think how they could even be used for trade without getting lost. Finding one of these today is a true numismatic treasure. Moving into the British period, the smallest coin in regular circulation was the 1/12 anna. This copper coin was part of the system where 12 pies made 1 anna. It was a very small coin, about 17.5 millimeters in diameter, but it was essential for tiny purchases. A surprising fact is that in 1835, the East India Company minted an even smaller coin, the 1/4 pie. This coin was never actually issued for circulation, so they are incredibly rare patterns. It would have taken 192 of these coins to equal just 1 rupee. It shows how finely the currency was divided to accommodate even the smallest transactions in the 19th century economy. When it comes to rarity in nickel and brass coins, collectors often look for coins with errors or those minted in very small numbers. For example, some of the nickel coins from the reign of King George V, minted in 1919, are quite scarce because they were made for only 1 year. After independence, certain coins minted in specific years are harder to find than others. A surprising fact for many collectors is that some of the most valuable modern Indian coins are not made of gold or silver, but are error coins made from base metals like nickel brass or stainless steel. For instance, a coin struck on the wrong metal plancher can be worth thousands of times its face value. For American collectors, the idea of a square or scalloped coin is quite unusual, as US coins have always been round. The square nickel-brass half anna from the 1940s or the square cupro nickel 2 anna from the 1920s are fascinating examples of how different coin shapes were used in India to help with identification. The rarest of these might be pattern coins, experimental pieces that were never approved for mass production. These coins give us a glimpse into the design ideas that were considered but ultimately rejected, making them unique and highly sought after by advanced collectors around the world. The journey of India's nickel and brass coins is a rich and colourful thread in the giant tapestry of world numismatics. For collectors everywhere, from Mumbai to Minneapolis, these coins offer a window into the economic and political history of one of the world's oldest and most dynamic civilizations. They are not just pieces of metal, they are historical documents that tell stories of changing empires, wartime struggles, and the birth of a modern nation. The transition from coins valued for their silver content to token coins made of nickel and brass is a story that mirrors the economic evolution of many countries, including the United States. What makes Indian coins particularly fascinating for a global audience is their incredible diversity. While American coinage has a relatively consistent history of round coins with presidential portraits, Indian coins come in a dazzling array of shapes, sizes, and designs. There are square coins, scalloped coins, and coins with holes in the middle. The imagery ranges from the abstract symbols of ancient punch-marked coins to the regal portraits of British monarchs and the powerful national emblems of independent India. This variety provides an exciting challenge and a rewarding experience for any collector looking to broaden their horizons. Even for someone who doesn't collect Indian coins specifically, understanding their history provides a deeper appreciation for numismatics as a whole. The surprising facts, like the failed brass token currency of the 14th century, or the introduction of oddly shaped nickel coins to help an illiterate population, highlight the creative ways governments have solved monetary problems throughout history. These stories add depth and context to the hobby, reminding us that every coin, no matter how common, has a purpose and a past. The humble nickel and brass coins of India are a testament to this, showing how everyday money can carry an extraordinary legacy. In conclusion, Indian nickel and brass coins are a globally significant field of study. They represent a crucial bridge between ancient and modern currency systems, and their story is one of innovation, adaptation, and identity. For collectors, they offer a lifetime of discovery, with rare patterns, wartime issues, and post-independence varieties waiting to be found. They are a perfect example of how the most common objects can tell the most uncommon stories. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just someone with a jar of interesting pocket change, the coins of India invite you on a journey through time, a journey that is as valuable and enriching as the history they hold in their metallic forms.